Björn in Symphonical. It's a pleasure having you here. And today we are going to have a demo of what Symphonical can do for you. And I will start off by screen sharing my wall, and I will go through some of the links and questions that I have been receiving from other people. So there you are. Okay. Here I'm starting screen share, and you will see my screen here. This is Symphonical. You will see the wall as you have seen it before, with columns, rows, and colors. On the side here, you have the walls that I have. I have a whole row of walls. And if I want to start a new wall, I click on New Wall and choose between a series of templates. If I choose the blank, there are no columns and rows. If I have a to-do, that's the most common one. That has different columns and rows. Scrum board, week plan, etc. That's the same here. And the next thing I want to show you, I can close this one now to give more space. The first thing I will go through is to show what you can do with notes. I can make a new note, as you see up in the corner. Each place, every time I move my cursor, I can make a note. And you see now, I click on that plus sign and a note appears. This is my note. What I can do here is I can attach files by clicking on it, attach from computer, or I can also attach from Google Drive. I can set a date. Let's say I will put a date on that for today. You see the date will appear here. I can mark it as finished and not finished, or I can archive it. You see now, if I have it finished, you'll see here it is notes. That note is ticked off. If I tick that off here, it will disappear again. Here I can also change the color and say, if this is a marketing note, business development, product development, or if it's, as it normally is, an uncategorized one. So I will click on the marketing, and you will now see that since marketing is blue, I can visually see that a blue note in Q2 with responsible Björn Haugland. I can drag this note. I can drag it from Q2 to Q1 to Q3. I can drag it into other responsible, or I can mark, or I can actually drag it also. That's a hint. I can drag it into another wall. If I drag it over here, you see, I can say, do you want to move or copy the note? Move, copy, and I want to cancel it because I don't really want to copy it to another wall. But that's a really, I can also mark more than one. Now I'm marking 3 and dragging all of these 3 notes into another wall or to another column. That's a quick way of dragging and dropping. Every time I do something here, you will see it in the feeder that what I do. If I mark a new note, this is my new note, you can see I just did it now, and I can click on it and I can see what it is, so you have control of what has happened as well. If I want to delete a note, you click on the archive, you archive it, and it disappears, but you have it in what we call the archive box. You go into the menu side, click on this arrow down, go to archive, and I can see here's the notes that has been deleted. If I click on this one, I can restore it, and it goes back into the note where it was. So this is a way of cleaning up a wall or getting rid of it altogether. It's also, as you can see here, you have categories. One of the categories is Q3, Q4, Q1 next year. If I want to add something in between or add another column, you see I mark it, I put my cursor between the two columns, the plus sign appears, and I can have Q5. There is no Q5, but if I want to have it, that's where I can have it. And of course I can drag it. If I want to move it, I can move the column to the right. You see Q3, Q12, Q5, or I can remove it. So it's really flexible to have the columns the way you want it to be. I can, of course, rename. Instead of Q4, I can make it to Q2. I'll go back again. And I can do the same with marketing. Marketing too. It's really, really simple. And also here I can add colors as I want to, or delete colors. If I want to delete it, remove color. That's how I do it. So now I've gone through notes, and I've gone through columns, and now I want to show you how I can invite people. Simple as that. On this side, you click on Add Members. You write the email address of whoever it is, john@johndoe.com, and that person will be invited. There is no John Doe. But then that person will get an email sent to him or her with a hyperlink directly in, and it will be immediately invited into the Symphonical wall. So that's how simple that is. It's also possible to collaborate on OneNote. If, for instance, I want to discuss the go-to-market strategy, I go in, here's some discussion, and let's say, in this go-to-market strategy, I have a sentence say, who will we actively target within the market? And if I have a question, say, can you please elaborate on this topic? And the one who is responsible for that note will immediately receive an email and can go back and forth and discuss this target. And everybody who has access to this wall can see the chat. And if he or she adds into the comment, he or she also will be notified every time somebody is making a note. Until they want to be notified, until they've written something in, they will not be notified. I can also delete my older comments if I don't want to do that. There is another way I want to show you. If you don't want to be notified all the time, you click up in the right corner on your own icon, click on Preferences, and you will see Notifications. And you can tick off Get Notified when somebody assigns you a task, when they comment on your task, or if you want to be notified of a daily agenda of your task. That's a really handy way of doing that. There is other ways you can work with the wall. Sometimes you have more notes than you can see on one wall, and that's when I go into wall settings and can define the note style, small, medium, large. Now it's set on large. If I go into small and put stretch notes, you will now see that the notes are much smaller, and all of a sudden I can see all the notes on the lower part, the lower row as well. So that's a way you can decide whether you want it to have in stretch and small note viewing. And of course, if you take away the stretch notes and just hit that one, you will see they look like small notes with not so much information on it, but you can still see the icons. But I like to have this large one and stretched. That means I can have see a lot of the writing here. That's how I can do that. If you want to use this wall as a template for future usage, or if you want to have a similar project, you can copy the wall. This will be the Symphonical demo wall roadmap copy, and I can decide whether I want to copy the notes or not. That means I can keep the structure but not the notes, or I can keep the notes, and I can also bring the collaborators along. If I now click on copy, I will make an exact copy, including the copy of the notes, except one thing. The enclosures on the notes will not be there. That's the only difference. If you decide to go for a premium version, you have a dashboard up in the right corner that is clickable, and then you will see all your tasks for the note. You would see all your tasks for all the walls that you have decided to see in this view. So that means I have some which is overdue because I made a demo project here. If I want to drag this today, I can finish it off and it will immediately move to the finished, or I can take a note which has no date and drag it into whatever date I would like it to be. And then I go into calendar mode and I can see all the notes that I have planned to do and is planning to do in the future. And also for September, you can see here the plan that I had for last month. This is different notes with different colors depending on what kind of wall it is. I can also synchronize this with my own personal calendar, so I can get notification and calendar updates on my cell phone or on my normal calendar on my PC or my Mac. I also have a complete overview of all the notes that I had finished during the last period. So I can see, if I just want to see, okay, what did I do? What did I finish last week, etc. That's where I can go and find it. I'll just go back and see if I have any more questions coming up. No. Do you? Hi, Tony. I saw you just came in now. I'm sorry I didn't see that before. Do you have any more questions for me since I've just went through? I mean, Symphonical is a really simple and really visual tool, so it's not really much to learn. But do you have any questions that you would like to ask, whether it's something you are asking about or any comments about how we can work on it?
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay, awesome. I'm on my tablet.
Hi. You just disappeared as you were going to ask the question, so I don't hear you now, Tony. Bad timing. Well, since that was the only person in there with the question, I think I have finished the demo for today. Oh, you're back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I had to switch to 4G.
Okay.
Yes, I know most of the features that you've already illustrated there. One of the questions I had was, while using the software, when you complete a task and you add a check mark, I was wondering if there's going to be functionality where it can automatically move from one column to the other, because in your example you have it set by quarters.
Right.
On my wall I have it set up more like a to-do list in progress and completed. I think I got it off of a template or something.
Right.
And I was wondering if you can move it from the completed column. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you move it automatically once you check it off?
No, you can't today, but we are working on a new version that is coming out this fall, and in that one you can. So you
Okay.
take it off, and it will move. We will have a. You know, it's not fair to talk about things that we don't have, but it's coming. But it uh, it is the finished note attribute is not what we call a system attribute. As a responsible is, if you drag it from one responsible to the other, you will be notified, and a lot of other things will happen. The things also happens that way when we set a date on it, but unfortunately not yet when we have it on a
Okay.
finished. Yeah.
Okay. Another question I
Mhm. You disappeared again, Tony.
Hei, Bjørn.
Yeah,
Virker som han forsvant.
yeah. Now he's back again.
Ja, he's back again. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. For Wi-Fi. Okay. So another question I had. I'm sorry about that.
All right.
So sometimes I'm a web developer. I own a web design company, and there's usually there's a team of about nine of us, but six on the design team, three, two or three salespeople, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, sometimes we want some tasks to be accessed to by one department, but not necessarily by the other. So, or maybe we sometimes want to include a client on, say, the wall. Is there a way so that we can add not accessibility, but group access, so that only certain groups can see certain types of notes or anything like that? Is there anything in the pipeline for that?
No, no. And the concept of Symphonical is we're trying to make it simple with very few rules. You know, it's going to be
Okay.
almost like, I mean, we're trying to resemble a meeting room with notes on a wall. And if you're invited into the meeting room, you can see what's on the wall. And what you can do, of course, is to have different walls with different teams. So if you have another wall, you share it with your customer and
Mm-hmm.
your team, and you have another internal wall with your internal team. So I would recommend you to have different walls. That would solve that thing. And I showed you I could drag notes between walls as well. I can copy a note from one wall to another by just dragging it and dropping it into that wall on the side menu. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I would do it if I wanted to work on different teams. And you don't, I understand sometimes you don't want your client to have access to your whole wall, but only to certain areas. But that's when I would drag the notes from one wall into your client wall
Okay.
and something like that, or copy it.
Okay. I
Mm.
love the simplicity of Symphonical. I think it's an awesome product.
Okay, great, great. Do you have any more questions then, Tony?
Oh, I can go on and on. Let someone else go. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that
like,
concludes. It's a very short demo, but it's short and sweet. And because Symphonical, that's how Symphonical is. It's a simple, easy to learn tool that doesn't need much information. That we spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes here explaining the basics. That's wonderful, but it shouldn't need more than 5 minutes to teach to learn it.
yeah, it's very easy. Just a very small learning curve. I love it.
That's perfect. And I can promise you one thing, we're having a new version coming up. It's going to be even smoother and even more slick and nicer to look at. So stay tuned.
Can we add our company logo in the corner?
Say that again?
Can we add our company logo in the corner?
Yes, you can in one of those versions. Yes, you can.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thanks a lot then.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye bye now.
You too. Bye-bye now.